live. Okay. I think we're live.
Yeah, looks like.
Okay, cool. Oh. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ana Maria Vallejo. Welcome to this first online meeting of the International Poetry Film Festival of Thuringia. We're going to be talking today about the program The Art of Videohaiku, which shows films of two video artists, Dave Bonta and Martin Gerrig, but also the films produced during the workshop, Video Haiku workshop I led at the end of the month here in Weimar in cooperation with AZC Galerie. We're going to be talking with the participants of the workshop and with Levin Blochberger, who wrote haikus for the workshop. And we are going to be switching English and German. So if you're we switch to German, have a bit of patience. We're going to try to translate a bit. In the back end of this streaming is helping us Katharina Menz. Probably she's going to show us some videos that we want to watch during the session, and also probably she's going to switch in for translating into English at some point. So welcome everyone, my guests today. Really glad to see you again. We can start in a short presentation of you. So we can start with you, Marco.
So yeah, where to start? I think in this round of people, I'm not actually an artist, so I'm a trained chemist, now working in communication and social media. But I love haikus, I love poetry, and I also started to love digital videos. And so stumbling across this workshop was really like a great opportunity for me to just see what it is. And I think actually I just fell in love with this medium instantly.
Cool. Yeah. Sabrina?
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, I studied at the Bauhaus University in Weimar and did a lot of animation and filming stuff and also concept art. And I finished my study this August with my bachelor degree, and I thought it was some kind of experiment to do more like poetry stuff and experimenting, going with the flow, and not like having a real story to work on, but more poetry. Yeah.
Cool. Elias?
Hello, everyone. I'm Elias, and I'm here from Weimar. Actually, I was born in the north of Germany, but yeah, I'm a fine artist from Weimar, as said, and I'm doing videos and poetry a long time already, but I never focused in doing videos. So it was just something that I did around the corner and not for everyone, just for me. And yeah, in my personal art, I do a lot of stuff that is spread in a lot of mediums. And so I love to reduce things. And the haiku is, I think, is meant to be reducing things. So that came in handy for me. And I tried to do something with it. I hope I can develop my skills in writing haikus and also giving something to the haiku with the video, which we will talk about, I think. If this video gives something to the haiku or if it's taking something away from the haiku. But yeah, it's fantastic to have the opportunity to work with you. And yeah, it was a nice workshop that gave a lot of input. And I still cannot see where this will end. But I hope, yeah, it was a perfect input for me. Yeah.
Cool. We can talk about it later, about how the workshop went for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we can go to Levin. Levin, hallo. Willkommen in unserer Runde. Wir haben das erwartet. We're waiting for you to talk with you and to meet you.
Das ist sehr schön. Ich freue mich auch, euch endlich mal zu sehen. Und es ist natürlich spannend, was ihr in eurem Workshop so gemacht habt. Zu mir, ich heiße Levin Blochberger und ich bin in Thüringen geboren und aufgewachsen. Also habe da schon noch eine Verbindung zu meiner Heimat und studiere jetzt aber in Leipzig Rechtswissenschaften. Und schon seit der Schulzeit bin ich dabei, Gedichte zu schreiben. Weniger Haikus als vielmehr andere kleine, kurze Formen von Gedichten. Aber Haikus sind auch eine spannende Angelegenheit.
Yeah, so I will translate fast and shortly. Levin was born in Thuringia, but now he's living in Leipzig and studying laws. Levin had, I'm gonna add this, I called Levin and I met, I think 3 years ago in a summer workshop of Ranis in the south of Thuringia. And Levin is an author and he writes short poetry, but I gave him the mission of write these 3 haikus for us and for our workshop. And yeah, so that's like the summary of it. So we're going here. Luisa is connected now. Hi, Luisa.
Hi.
You can tell us about you.
Okay. I'm Luisa, 18 years old, and I graduated from high school this year. And now I'm doing a voluntary service in the ACC Gallery Weimar. Yeah, and maybe next year I want to start studying visual communication. Well, that's the plan for now. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Luisa joined our workshop, and I think it's gonna be a really nice conversation today about what happened today. And the last but not the least, Ulrike Moni from ACC Gallery. Hallo Ulrike. Hi Ulrike. Wir hören dich nicht. Warte.
Now?
Now, yes.
Okay, good. Hi,
so, tell us about you, Ulrike.
Okay, I'm somehow the host of the workshop. I was, because I'm working for ACC Gallery since 3 years, organizing all kinds of events, lectures, or whatever going on here. So ACC Gallery is operating since over 30 years. So it started in the before the wall came down in 1987 with some how to say subculture special. Now I'm searching for the right word in English. They just occupied the house, and it was a very special and nice story how it became a now an international operating gallery. We are not commercial, so we are doing shows and exhibitions all over the year since 30 years now. Like 4 to 5 exhibitions with solo shows, international group exhibitions, cooperations with the Kunstfest, local festivals, cultural festival like we are doing now. And what you're seeing behind me is part of this cooperation. And what else?
And you're right now in the same room we were when we were doing the workshop, right?
It's a crazy room, as you can see. It was a lot of work, which was done by Frank Motz. the leader and founder and crazy guy who is absolutely needed to run such a gallery. And it's a very special place, and I'm very honored and happy to be part of the small team which is running the gallery.
And we're really happy, so we can start with our conversation, because we're really happy to have been cooperating this year with you, and that we were able to organize this workshop. We wanted to do that also since the last year. Can you tell us about the story of our cooperation between the Weimar Poetry Film Award and AZC Galerie?
Oof. I mean, since this is a very small town and it's almost impossible not to cooperate, but it is. I actually don't know who was the first to connect to the other, but as I remember, we did a first cooperation last year with a screening.
Yes.
I couldn't be present, but it was. I think it was nice and nice experience as like the final event of the poetry film Tage.
Poetry Film Award. Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah. It's a bit confusing, because until last year, we were just a prize. We were just giving one award, and we were just 1 or 2 days long festivals, but we were always attached to another festival. So, but then this year we're like one bigger festival. So that's a bit confusing. Yeah. Okay, and now the award is inside of the festival. So yeah.
Okay, so maybe if I don't get it right, but the important thing is that we always, both you and us as a gallery, try to find the connecting point to set up or to like a symbiosis to to bring the best together. So we have some infrastructure to. We have a lot of small and bigger rooms, technical stuff, and the network of communication of whatever. So. It was a very close and how to say, a very obvious and natural cooperation. So one thing gave the other, as we say in German. I don't know if it's right in English. And we had the plan to do. I mean, we had to change plans since the festival was postponed. So it was supposed to be earlier in June or something.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And now it had to be in September, and then the side program, how to say, ein Rahmenprogramm, right word, had to be cancelled somehow. We wanted to do cooperation with Aline Heck.
Yes.
So this couldn't take place, and then you came up with this great idea, and I said this fits perfectly with what we do, and here we are.
Yeah, and this workshop also means a lot to us, because I think it's the first time that outside of the university we make like activities with artists in producing poetry films. Because before this year, we were cooperating with the Bauhaus University, and in that sense, also means to us that we are like learning and exploring the genre with local people. So that's why it's also like really interesting for us. And I think the place we had was amazing. We were there 2 days and we met there all together. And yeah, how was it for you? Because you were also like participating in the workshop, like.
Then I had to do other stuff in between, and then I came back to you all, and it was super interesting how deeply you got involved into this video haiku thing, and I didn't expect such a intensive discussion, and this was very nice experience for me as the host, and I think we created a really nice workshop atmosphere, and it was for all of us. We were not too many. There were supposed to be more, but then they thought it was online. But so it was this COVID situation, which made this, which led us to make it smaller, but concentrate and more. Focused on, we could work more focused on what is each part, video haiku, on lyrics, on each topic, and not only the technical stuff, but on as well like philosophical talks around, and this is was very nice for me.
Yeah, for me also was really cool. Okay, thanks. And now we can start talking. So as I said before, I'm really happy that we meet again here, and we can talk a bit of the background of what happened during the workshop and how the films originated. The films are in the program of our website, The Art of Video Haiku. Today we're gonna watch other films, not those, but those are in the program, are like the selected ones, and we're gonna show like the process of going into those films. But then, as I said before, we had at the beginning for the workshop, we had Levin's haikus. And ja, also Levin, ich würde dich einladen, die Haikus vorzulesen. Die sind auf Deutsch. The haikus are in German. I would like that Levin read them, so we know what are we talking about, and yeah, and we can talk about the text and how we manage to take the text in our workshops during the workshop. Also Levin, bist du dran?
Ja, dann kommen hier die Haikus, 3 Stück an der Zahl. Kleiner Stein im Schuh, die Kekse liegen daheim und die Sonne strahlt. Sonnengebräunte Haut unter dem Hemd, knurrender Magen. Das Handtuch voll Sand, denke an dein Sommerkleid, letzter Tag am See.
Okay, und ich wollte mit dir reden, also, dass du uns erzählst, wie du die Haikus, also wie kamst du zu diesen Haikus? Also was passiert da hinten? Also was passiert in den Kopf von einem Dichter? Also, my question is what happened. I wanted to ask him how he wrote these poems and how he came to those poems, to these Haikus.
Ja, also am Anfang stand dein Auftrag oder deine Frage, ob ich denn Haikus schreiben könnte, beziehungsweise ob ich überhaupt Zeit dafür hätte. Und 3 würden genügen, meintest du. Und es sollten Haiku sein, möglichst in der entsprechenden Form, wie es im Deutschen übertragen genutzt wird, wobei das nicht zwingend war. Und sie sollten möglichst zusammenhängen oder zumindest ein einheitliches Thema haben und auch in die entsprechende Jahreszeit passen. Und es ist für Haiku natürlich günstig, weil sie entsprechend konkret formuliert sind und Alltagsdinge ansprechen sollen und gleichzeitig hintergründig eine zweite Ebene öffnen sollen, in eine größere Dimension, wenn man so möchte, dass man darüber hinaus noch viel mehr darin lesen kann. Und das war, also gefragt hattest du mich Ende August, geschrieben habe ich sie im September, und das ist natürlich dann auch schon der beginnende Übergang vom Sommer zum Herbst. Und wir haben hier in Leipzig sehr schöne Seen, wie man vielleicht weiß oder vermuten kann. Und der Kulkwitzer See oder auch Kulki ist einer, den ich oft besuche und an dem ich auch sehr gerne schreibe. Und an dem See habe ich auch diese Haikus verfasst und habe mich entsprechend so ein bisschen an einem Tag am See orientiert, wie man ihn ja im Sommer öfters mal dort verbringt und was dann im Herbst entsprechend eingestellt werden muss, aus diesen oder anderen Gründen. Und sowohl diese Geschehnisse als auch der Umbruch in der Jahreszeit und was da auch innerlich mit einem vorgeht, sollte sich so ein bisschen darin widerspiegeln. Also dann auch insbesondere Gefühle wie Wehmut oder Sehnsucht, die dann im Herbst stärker hervortreten.
Ja. Ich übersetze kurz. Levin tells us about how he wrote the haikus. He lives in Leipzig, and in Leipzig there are some lakes, and I gave him the commission of the haikus at the end of August, and September is this transition month between summer and fall, and then he goes to the lakes really often to write, and then he wrote these haikus there, right? And thinking about those summer days and this change that has arrived after that with the fall and with the change of the weather and this a bit also wir hatten, jetzt wechsle ich nochmal, wir hatten immer gedacht, auch mit den Teilnehmern und mit allen haben wir auch gesprochen, wie ein bisschen so nostalgisch sind, ne?
Ja, das stimmt. Also es ist so ein Stück weit ein Zurückdenken und aber auch Dinge, die eigentlich jeder kennt oder die man gleich irgendwie mit eigenen Erlebnissen assoziiert.
Ja. Yeah, we were talking that they are a bit nostalgic and things that happened, and then you associate to that. But also, Levin talked about the character of haiku. Haiku is also, and then we can start in the topic of haiku. No, like one thing we talked about is how haiku expresses like everyday life. How was this is like a question I throw into the room. How was your perception of haiku, or what was your perception before, and then what we talked, how we changed the perception for you about our knowledge we had before the workshop, and then when we were there and the things we were talking about, this character and this spirit of haiku. It's not a question, it's more like a like a platform to talk. Marco, you wanna share, or Elias?
Yeah, yes. I think before the workshop I was thinking about the haiku like a really simple poem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing that would be something to think about longer. Yeah, just a short perception and then it's gone.
Yeah.
But now I think one haiku could be a content for a whole book, or even a life, because it can be really rich. Mm-hmm. And so the perception of only something that's really nothing special into the perception of haiku as a complete paradox. Yeah, that was nice to see.
Yeah, that was something Levin was talking also about this, how in haiku we turn out the side of like a coin, like you show at the beginning, the first verses, you show like one side, and then in the third you make this break, also relating to what he was saying, like he was writing the haikus at the end of the summer, and I find it really nice that we had our workshop at the beginning, exactly at the end of summer, and this in the weekend of the change, between summer and fall, and I think that was really like passant. How do you say it? Like adequate? Yeah. Okay. So I want to. Another question I had for you was, what were your expectations about the workshop before coming to Videohaiku? What did you know about Videohaiku before? Marco?
Well, I think when I first read the name or the title of this workshop, it was the first time I heard about the word Videohaiku in the first place. So, of course, I know what a video is, I know what a haiku is, and I think the notion that you can combine them into a new art form was just fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. For you, Luisa?
I mean, I didn't know anything about video haikus before this workshop. I mean, I knew what a haiku is and so on, but yeah, I actually didn't really have any expectations, to be honest. I just luckily had the opportunity to take part in this workshop because I work here. And so I took the chance to learn something new, something different. Yeah, but I think that video haikus is a really nice and beautiful format. Yeah, just to adopt it in the poem in like a creative way and to visualize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Ulrike.
For me, it was very interesting to bring all these disciplines together because I'm interested in photography, I'm interested in graphic design and typography and all these things, but I was never so interested in making films. But this was the link for me to try because it's short, it's a very you can open a new world within a few seconds, and this was fascinating to watch other films the examples you gave us, and there's you can spend hours and days and weeks on a few seconds to make this complex as you want, but you can make it plain and short and straight on as well. So there are so many possibilities in this art discipline, which finally I was really, I felt in love with this.
Oh, that for me is like the main, like I heard from you that that you discovered like a new world, and it was also for me because I had I'm gonna share like a secret. I used to work with video long time ago. I'm an artist, but I do mainly animation, and it was like a re-encounter with video for me also when I was like preparing the workshop. So it was a really nice re-encounter in the frame of video haiku, because it is also like really concrete, as we were saying. Like haiku refers to really concrete stuff, but also contains a lot of deeper phases and sides of life. No, yeah.
What was the secret?
The secret was that that I used to make like video poetry before coming to Germany, but I didn't know that was video poetry in that time. Yeah, and I have to say that I knew the concept of video haiku, but I got like the commission of Guido Naschert, one of the festival leaders and founders of the festival, and he said, Anna, I want to create a video haiku workshop, and can you do it? And I said, yes, of course I can do it. And the more I was like learning and researching, I was like falling in love, and I'm really happy that we got like new video poets into the group. Yeah, so that was the secret. I was a video poet once. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
maybe,
came back.
yeah, maybe this is because that's why we got so much inspiration from you. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was like mission accomplished, no? I think it
Yeah.
was, for the people who are watching us, we also were really happy to do this this discussion, because it was really like a super successful workshop, I think. Sabrina, how was it for you? Like because you already knew about video poetry, I think, before, no?
Yeah, I mean, I had an idea of video poetry, not exactly like video haiku, but like poetry films and this stuff. But for me, it was actually really cool because I did my bachelor degree in August and was like also focused on this one thing, like really concentrated on this one story. And this was also a little bit of documentary animation film. So for me, it was really cool to have an experiment, like do something really different with the video haiku. So we also just went out in the workshop and filmed something we found interesting. So this was totally different than having a concrete story. It was planning like really months planning the story, and they just go out in this moment and filming this stuff and working with it just in 2 days. That was really cool for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, one task we had is, because the goal was to create some video haikus during the workshop. So the first thing we did was going out to the main square in Weimar. It is like 2 streets away from AZC. And I told you to be there 10 minutes only and to film. So how was it that for you to go only for 10 minutes?
The weather was miserable. It was raining and it was cold and it was not summer anymore. This was very funny to make this contrast. Yeah. Good to have these limits. So it was easy to have this, that you said only 10 minutes, only this place, choose whatever you want, but stay here. This was the right way to focus and to go on. Yeah.
And I think it was quite cool because like somehow the mood was changing. Like for me at the beginning, it was like, I don't know, here's so much things. I don't know how to concentrate on one thing. But then when you go there and you're like 5 minutes there and something, it's like, wow, okay, I can film this and that, and oh, that's also interesting. And then you think, oh, could be here like 30 minutes more. It's so much here. What was really like details, really interesting things. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Elias.
I think it was the perfect reduction exercise that you gave us, because you also, like when you said we have a determined time, we could not spend 2 hours looking at things. We had to spend 10 minutes looking at things, and that makes such a big difference in observing.
Yeah.
And so the observation went from something endless to something really, really specific, and that was great. And as I told you in the workshop, I could have been there for a long, long time, but it was good that it was only 10 minutes.
Yeah. At the end, we did like a footage pool. And from this footage pool, we were working and editing with the haikus von Levin. Marco, you want to say something?
Yeah, so the situation on the square. So you said this are the rules, and for me it was a really good help, because when the task is make a video haiku, it's like impossible. You don't know where to start, and so you just made it in a form like, okay, I can do this. I know the time frame, I know what to do, and I think it felt like in my memory it feels like an hour. Me being there, watching, filming, and I think this is also quite very haiku. You just are there. You just are in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think since then, I'm also able to recall this. So when I'm walking, I can just decide to stop and be and watch.
Yeah, yeah, I think I discovered also because it was an experiment. I didn't know what was going to happen, if it's the 10 minutes
Wow.
rule was going to be okay or not. Yeah. Luisa, how was it for you? You're new in Weimar.
Yeah, I mean, I know the place, but yeah, my first thought was like, oh my God, only 10 minutes. How am I supposed to find something interesting to film it? And but then you begin to concentrate on all those little things, and suddenly these small things that actually seem so ordinary, they become something kind of interesting in this moment. And that was quite fascinating how it turned that fast.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask Levin, did you have an idea what a video haiku is?
Ja, im Groben schon. Wir hatten das in Ranes schon mal gemacht und da hatten wir auch Haikus geschrieben für die Animationsgruppe, um dann auch kurze Video-Haikus draus zu machen. Insofern wusste ich schon, was auf mich zukommt, aber die Umsetzung ist ja relativ breit gefächert. Man kann da sehr, sehr viel draus machen und wie konkret dann dieser Workshop ablaufen soll, das wusste ich natürlich nicht.
Yeah. Yeah, also for Levin, Levin knew a bit what a video haiku was, because when we met the first time, I think we did also like that exercise of doing video haikus, because I was doing like an animation workshop and they're working on the writing workshop. So we met into video haiku more or less, but he didn't know much about what is going to happen in the workshop. Okay, so for that, I want to show for the wider audience that is watching at us, I think we have 8 people watching us. Wow. Then the video of the art video poet Dave Bonta, he sent us for the workshop, and where he's a video poet and a video poet, and really active video poet. He posts, I don't know, every a video haiku or a video poet every poem every week, or more often, I don't know. And so he was invited to tell us about his approach, and you can watch this now when Katarina is going to show us now what Dave said.
So I just realized I've made close to 100 video haiku and 25 haibun videos. And I've been making video poetry for a lot longer, but I'm thinking, what is it about haiku and the related form haibun that make them such good fits for video poetry? And the first thing I thought about was something that the video poetry pioneer Tom Conovis said about the quality of the text, a text that works well in a video poem. He said it should have a quality of incompleteness. Like it shouldn't feel like everything is finished and done and said, and there's nothing for the filmmaker to add to it. Not all texts make good poetry films. In haiku, there's similarly this idea that the reader or the listener should complete the work, that a haiku is sort of like half a circle and the reader finishes the circle in her own mind. So right out of the block, you've got a text with this quality of incompleteness. Now, there are a lot of haiku videos out there that do nothing more than simply try to illustrate. I think that's a mistake. I think it leads to boring and cliched films. And haiku is the enemy of cliche. It's all about spontaneity. So in my own practice, my most common way of composing is just to have my smartphone in my pocket when I'm out for a walk and I'm trying to see things in a way I haven't seen them before. And just shooting things, not knowing whether I'll use that footage or not, and then letting it work in my mind. And so that maybe while I'm sleeping, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with half a haiku already written. Sometimes it'll be another walk the next day I'll be turning that haiku over in my mind, and then it becomes a fun challenge, of course, to try to edit the two things together. Maybe find some free to use sounds on the internet to mix with it, maybe shoot intentionally a little bit of extra footage, but I tend not to do that. I like to emphasize spontaneity and that beginner's mind that I think is just so key to the whole practice. The other thing that's really come home to me is how the basic structure of haiku, which is, yes, often arranged in 3 lines, but a asymmetrical two-part structure with a semantic break after either the first line or the second line, and you have these 2 images or observations or ideas that speak to one another with this disjunction between them. So in the same way, you get the text of the haiku to speak with the imagery, but not in an obvious way where one is illustrating the other, but in a kind of subtle way where they're playing off one another. And again, that's basic to the principles of video poetry, as Canavis and others have articulated them. And then further, I found that in Haibun, there's another element. There's the same kind of thing with a boon portion. The prose portion shouldn't have an obvious direct relationship with the haiku that follows, precedes it, or is in the middle somehow. And you can have more than one haiku in a given haibun. But again, this subtle, non-obvious relationship between these elements. And so again, that makes an interesting challenge for a video poet. And typically I do the prose portion in the soundtrack, and then the haiku is text on screen. I've seen some other filmmakers adopt that practice as well, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways of doing it. And the main thing is just to have fun with it.
So that was Dave Bonta from Pennsylvania in the US, where he lives. How was your encounter with Dave Bonta? Also, we watched some of his films during the workshop, and we have some of his films in the playlist of the festival. Sabrina?
I think like somehow it changed how you watch the video. Like when you watch it at the beginning, it was like, it could also be like something you was filming when you're at vacation or something, like a homemade video with not that much of intention. But if you watch it more and more, you understand what's his way of doing these videos, like that it's not without intention or something, but it's a different way. It's also spontaneous, and he just, like how he said, he pulls out the camera and do this and then put on a text, and it's not really like doing much of graphic stuff and doing a lot of typography things. It's just really simple. But if you watch it more and more, you understand his way of doing the films. It's quite cool. It's easy and easy to watch and understand.
Yeah. Yeah, we were every time more impressed and convinced at what he does in this also way of a bit of diary way of doing video poetry. And I took also that spirit into the workshop, like to try also with these exercises we did going to the main square, because the main square is a place we go by every day. But probably I have to say it, I've been in Weimar. I came to Weimar the first time in 2012, and I think I hadn't spent so long in the square alone, just watching the square. So for me, it was like a discovery of a place, and that approach that Dave shared with us. I think I try we try to do that also. Yeah. So what happened was that you did some haikus, and we can watch them. a selection of them. I also did, I have to say, I was also active of the workshop, because I think that when you do and together with the participants, we are like in the same mindset working. What?
Creating mood, creating.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we can watch the video haikus, and then we can start talking about them. We're going to watch them 5, not all of them that were produced, because I have to say Sabrina did like 4, I think. Elias did 2, Luisa also did 2, and Marco did. I also think you changed the same. And okay, at the end we worked a lot. And we were really productive. And so let's see this selection I did for today, and we can talk about them. Okay. So I want to ask first, Levin, because you wrote the poems. What is the encounter with your text and the images?
Ja, also bei den meisten Videos ist mir aufgefallen, oder das sagte ja auch Dave Bonta, dass die Bilder nicht explizit inhaltlich zu den Worten passen. Und genau das ist ja auch das Ziel, um den Text ein Stück weit zu ergänzen und eine andere Dimension hineinzubringen. Wie du auch schon anfangs sagtest, es ist ein erster Herbsttag in Weimar mit Regen, es ist kalt, es ist windig, und das sieht man auch in den Videosequenzen. Also das passt natürlich ganz gut zu dem Sommerabschluss und diesem Übergang in den Herbst. Ganz interessant sind natürlich, dass einige Szenen mehrfach auftauchen, wie zum Beispiel die tote Fliege, die wir öfters gesehen hatten, oder auch die Scheiben einer Zitrusfrucht auf dem Kopfsteinpflaster. Ja, das hat mich auf jeden Fall beeindruckt, was da am Ende entstanden ist. Und Ulrike hatte, glaube ich, ein Video gemacht, da war der Text etwas deutlicher umgesetzt in den Bildern. Und das hat das Ganze nochmal mit einer zweiten Ebene sehr schön unterstützt, fand ich. Also das war auch filmisch sehr gut umgesetzt. Tolle Farben, tolle Bilder. Und insofern hat es dem ganzen Text etwas mehr Tiefe verliehen.
Danke.
Yeah, I translate a bit, so I don't remember anymore. Wait. No, Levin was saying about the difference and the use of the same images for different parts of the text, and how this first fall day in Weimar contrast, of course, with the images of with the text and the images of the text, because that's what happens when we work with video poetry, as Dave said, that we try not to illustrate necessarily the text in the images. How was it for you, Marco?
Yeah, so in the beginning of the workshop, you just gave us the haikus and you asked us to write down our associations just in our minds. And I think I took this association with me when I was recording the footage. And so I think what I still have in my mind is this reminiscence of a summer that was not past, but is just like a week or so ago. And I think also what fall is doing is you see everything is changing from day to day, and you have your memories to summer fading and getting distant. And I think what I tried to do was with this wet and chilly first fall day to just transport this feeling, just like in the haiku you have this memory of summer, but it is already past. And so when we were doing the footage, it was basically one step further, like now it's past a bit more. And I think by looking back, it also allows you to look forward, because you just see how you're moving. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Elias, you
yeah, yes.
No, I because Levin talked about the lemon scheiben, how do you say it? Like pieces, slices, yeah. And you did that recording, no? I think you and Sabrina did the same recording of the same slices.
Yeah, they were pretty like they screamed at us. So yeah, what I think is really interesting about haiku and video is that in the haiku you are making annotations and annotations from the outside. So you're observing, and the outside is important. It's not about the inside, actually. It's about the outside world that you see, and the video can only see the outside world. So that's something that has to be done with video. Yeah. But the big question is how to transfer this image from the outside to something that might be an internal question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's also like to understand that internal question, no? Because for the author is one, and for you as a video poet or as an artist, you have another one. You interpret something different also. How was it, like the interpretation? Of course, we talked about this first exercise. You took notes of what you thought about the poem. Did the poem change with the images, during the process, like the interpretation of the haiku? Did it change during the workshop and the more we were discussing, and how it changed?
I might want to answer. I think it still changes. So I'm here now in my workspace in Jena, and I just took the poem with me, and usually it sticks to a magnet wall close by. So I see it every day passing by, sometimes noticing it, sometimes not. But it's so wonderful to just see it, and also now connected with my memories and with the images I saw. So it's I think it's still evolving and changing every day, at least.
Yeah, it's really nice. Ulrike, you want to say
yes,
something?
I'm trying to. When I read this, and it's true, it's somehow it's incomplete. There's something it can't be said or shown. It's there, and you have to deal with it somehow, and you have to make your decisions. But the nice thing is, when I see what I did, it doesn't feel like ready or something. It's somehow a process, and it could be that way or another way. Maybe it's it's this special haiku you gave us. So I didn't choose another one. I took this one and I said, okay, what does it? What are my associations? What is? Can I go with the flow or against? And then I decided to go with the flow. And to illustrate somehow, which I would like to do next time different, to be more opposite to the text, but it was not possible for me this time. But this is what it was nice to yes, to go with the flow and to get that the words led me to the animation or visualization. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit mixed. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but it's also about, I think that what you say, it's interesting, this decision moment, no? We confront as artists, and I think also by writing, you can always go back and erase the words. But once you make like a cut in video, you have to decide. We have like this footage pool, but we had to decide, and we had to do it like in 1 hour because we edited like also like super short, in a short amount of time. And then we had to decide, okay, I choose this image, and let's see what happens and what kind of landscape or horizon or line opens like this combination of text and image. And which this decision, of course, this line can go like with the poem or against it, or like crossing through the poem.
Yeah, and then within you can do a billion more of decisions about color grading, about overlaying, about text or adding elements. So it's not only the footage is only such a small part we did, and then somehow you have to stop this process and say, okay, that's it for now. And as you said, Marco, you pass every day, you see the haiku, and there are a trillion more of possibilities, and yeah.
Luisa, how was it for you? No, we don't listen to you. Why? Okay, Luisa is going to try to know why we don't listen to her. No. Oh no, Luisa. Okay, I chose this poem of Luisa to show today because it was like this Instagram style. And I had like this fantasy that I steal from another video poetry producer, that he said like the future of video poetry is in Instagram, and I'm like dreaming of a movement of Instagram video poems. And so I really liked how she approached. Luisa, are you there? Luisa? No. Yet, now? No. Okay.
I have some troubles with the mic.
No, we're listening to you.
I understood what you said, what you just said.
Okay. No, we were talking about the Instagram look of your. How was it for you? How was it for you the doing this first video editing as with the haiku?
How was it for me? Like what I find quite interesting about this format is, or about how we did it, was that we only had like 1 hour to do it, and so very limited time. And I'm someone who tends to think a lot about the things I do, and I didn't have the time now, so there was like really a very spontaneous approach, which was actually very new to me because I really need time to do things. And so that was the outcome, I guess. I didn't intend to do it in this Instagram style. Like I only recognized it when Marco told me about it, but I thought it was like a very nice discovery, and yeah.
And also like the format, no, it's not unusual. I mean, we are like older generation that only think like in the horizontal format, and I'm always like surprised by this long format that also requires like a different image composition. Yeah. Elias, for you, we showed one of your video haikus in which you didn't use the footage pool at the end. It was like the last decision, the last minute. You want to talk about it, like that change and that approach? Sound.
So now, you mean why I decided to not use the?
Yeah, and that like trying like a new approach, and that specifically that kekse cookie.
The cookies.
The cookies.
Yeah, I think it was trying out, just to try out something new, something more maybe spontaneous that came into my mind. And it was like always when I'm doing art, I try to first make a game, or a game in my mind with all the things that are happening, and then I try to do something that could symbolize what I thought about. And it was a game, actually. Actually, it was what Dave Bonta said when he said it's about having fun. That was an action that made a lot of fun for me to look for an image that could, in a reduced way, show what I wanted to show.
Yeah.
Yes. So I made a new challenge for myself that I wanted to reduce, like in haiku, reducing the imagery to show something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like the video haiku that we have in the festival from you, because it also talks about that being a bit a step ahead and a step. You have to watch it in the program, like the division of the image in 3, and we see like also I think it refers a bit like this decision process of writing, creating, and never going back or being able to going back, but you have to go further. Like going back means also sometimes going further.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
and
I think that's really, really important about talking about the formal aspect of, for example, vertical lines and horizontal lines.
Yeah.
We have vertical lines in the video because when we read from left to right. So when you have the vertical stops, you are stopped. It's like a break.
Yeah.
So you cannot read further. So you have to stop. And that's the formal aspects of video are coming into this really deep. So I think it's really important to study a lot about video.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this way, I think interesting what happens with what we did and what you did is that we're like literally in video haiku, we're like confronting text in visual way as in the haiku, and we're confronting that with the possibilities, composition possibilities of the image and the video. That video goes always forward. And haiku stands there like in the text, and we also had a lot of discussions about typography, composition, and that's why you saw that we had like either we had a cut or Sabrina did a lot of experiments with different kind of images composition and confronting one image to the other. Yeah, can you tell us about it, a bit about it, Sabrina?
Yeah, I think for me it's like also the meaning of the haiku, it changed when you start working on the video. Like when you start to concentrate on the separate lines of the haiku. And then like for me it was somehow I didn't want to do like cuts in the video. I just want to have the text and the video at the same time, so you can like watch the video at some point, like concentrate on this and also concentrate on the text, and then you can concentrate on both somehow together. So it's not like you have the text and the image and then it's gone, it's away if you have a cut. So yeah, it was an experiment to have both on one layer or like two layers, but like still together and always there. So the text is always there. You can read it like 10 times if you need, and if you need to understand it with the pictures. So
yeah. And in a way, it's also like trying to understand the text at
Yeah.
the end. It's like an exploration of the text using images, not more words, but just images. Yeah. Cool. I think we also had the possibility during the workshop, and it's also in the program, the film of Martin Garrix. It's called Haiku. So everyone who's watching can go also online and watch it. We have 10 people watching us. Wow. Then it's a different film also. How was it for you, like in contrast when we watched this film? I'm gonna do like a short introduction. It has 17 minutes, like 17 syllaben, how do you say syllaben in the haiku, yeah. And the film is 17 minutes, and he explores like the spirit of haiku visually and music, and with this text in Japanese. And it's a really cool, like complete to Dave Ponta that has like really short, and complete to the exercise we did is like a I don't know, like a masterwork of haiku, exploring the whole universe of it. How was your impression of the film during the workshop? Marco? Elias?
I think in the first few minutes, I felt attacked. So you had all these beautiful pictures, but then one after another, and then everything was overlaid with animations and graphics and very noisy sound, which I pretty much liked. And so I think it was maybe like you are in a dark room and you step out into the light and just like, wow, what is this? And after some time you get accustomed to this, and then you start to see through it. And the good thing was that this very up-tempo the movie had was very constant, and so you could just jump into this stream of flow. And what I really liked was the overlay of the reason why I went into natural sciences. Like a bit, you saw the source code, like this, I don't know, this spiral, or like some chemical formulas, of course. And I think this is, of course, the point of haiku, that you just have a thing and some kind of underlying truth. And I think also, since there were the references to sciences is a very abstract concept, and you also try to find out some underlying truth. But the problem is there is no such thing as truth. So this is where scientists actually start to discuss and write down things.
Yeah, I think they had the video had also like this overlapping layers of different things and different information over the 17 minutes, and then at some point you got like you go into this flow of information and and see 17 minutes of this composition of sound and music and images. So it's a recommendation for everyone. So we have been talking for a while already, an hour, and yeah, an hour, yeah.
Anna, I think I have to leave.
You have to go, yeah.
Event, one of the last before the next lockdown, and yeah.
Viel Glück. And you can connect to it. You have if you go to Atsace Gallery, you have in Instagram, you find the link to the, right?
Yes, to the next.
The next.
Yeah. It's a talk. Brotlose Kunst. It is called. It's actually about being or becoming an artist and how to live this kind of life, which has very much was heißt Vorurteile,
prejudice.
Yeah. So Brotlose Kunst is like inefficient art or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're doing this from 8 o'clock on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being our host for the workshop, and thank you, Luisa. Luisa is staying or is going also?
I would take her with me.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much, and viel Glück.
Bye, and thank you.
Okay, so we are going to finish, but before that, I wanted to know if you have like a recommendation for the people who are watching this video of a poetry film of our festival. Does anyone has any recommendation?
I didn't have the chance to see something, so I will do it. Mm-hmm. And I cannot do any
recommendation.
No,
but you have time until the 12th. You and all the people who haven't watched, you have the time until the 12th of November to watch it.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And you can also vote for the best poetry film in the competition until the 12th of November. You can also vote. You have we have still like the audience award. So you still have the chance to do it.
Yeah, of course I will.
Cool. Marco, you have one, right?
Yes, it's called, so it's in the Women in Resistance program. The title is Ophelia, and it's made by Maike Redeker. Exactly 7 minutes, as I just see on my second screen. Should I describe it without trying to spoil it?
Tell us. You can be spoiler. Yeah, please.
So, I love Shakespeare, and I think maybe everyone who loves Shakespeare is fascinated by the character of Ophelia. And as you see in this image, it's very, very dark and I think deep. But what I really liked about this film was that she actually is having fun. So you see her stepping down the stones, walking into the lake, and then reciting something that you cannot understand in the beginning. And just see her smile. And my partner watched it with me, and she said this person probably just recorded the second shot after this, made everything better, and then just decided to take the first one because it's just perfect in this moment. And I'm not going to say more.
Yeah, that's Ophelia in the Women in Resistance competition program, and you can watch that. I haven't watched it, so I have to watch that. Yeah, thank you, Marco. Does anyone else, Levin? Do you have? Hast du eine Empfehlung?
Ich habe mir einiges angeschaut und es ist unglaublich viel dabei, wo man auch mehrfach sich die Beiträge anschauen kann. Und ich hatte in der Kategorie nachgeschaut, die für den Preis nominiert sind. Mhm. und insbesondere Fable und I See the Abyss hat mir sehr gut gefallen persönlich. Also da kann ich nur empfehlen, sich mal durchzuklicken.
Sehr gut. Hast du schon gewählt, deine Stimme gegeben?
Nein, das habe ich noch nicht, weil ich mich noch nicht endgültig entscheiden konnte.
Okay.
Werde ich noch tun.
Sehr gut. Also Levin recommends Fable and What If, right?
I See the Abyss.
I See the Abyss, yeah. I See the Abyss, yeah. And he hasn't, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. So you can still vote for one of those. Cool. Sarina, do you have a recommendation for?
Yeah, I also liked Fable, I think, because I like animation and that stuff. It isn't animated, but it has that kind of stop motion feeling without really being stop motion and playing with the perspective. So it was quite playful and I liked that.
Is that also the reason, Levin, why you like those, or why did you like those?
Das ist schwer zu beschreiben. Es ist natürlich der erste Eindruck, der einen irgendwie in den Bann zieht. Aber ich fand insbesondere bei den Beiträgen auch Bilder insoweit gut, dass sie sehr viel Spielraum für Interpretation lassen und auf eine gewisse abstrakte Weise sehr viel vermitteln können.
Yeah. So Levin says that both films can express and communicate a lot in a really abstract way. So you have to watch it. I haven't watched those yet either, but I also have a recommendation in the German program talking about language and text. Is the last film. Warum ist die Banane krumm? How many beans make 5? So I like this. I mean, it's a really cool selection and program, but I like this because you have like different layers also. You have like the layer of the spoken poem from Questi Frauen, and with a really strong accent. I don't know where is it from. And you also have like in the subtitles in English, which are a translation of the poem, but not in the same exact way. So warum ist die Banane krumm is like a question like why things are the way they are. And the poem goes like that. And the whole time we're watching this sculpture. But I also like because it's a way of, at the end, what we do with video poetry is translating and exploring a written poem. And in that work, we have like the translation in the images, but also the translation to another language. And with the sound, that is also like the sound of German, but in a different and unusual way. So it's I can only recommend it to all of you. Cool. So, do you want to say something before we go? Because we have been here for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay. Aha.
I think, yeah, so I don't really know how to say it because this workshop was actually really sort of life-changing for me. I think I can say that. So I, since my teenage years, I also liked poetry, and I think I then stopped because it was just difficult to, yeah, this is my heart, this is my feelings. And with the haikus, I think I got a more technical approach and like, yeah, describe something you see and describe how you see it, which is also pretty much what I'm doing in my work, but on another level. And I think I just will continue doing video haikus from now on. And I think, as also Ilya said, yeah, I'm interested to see how this turns out for me. And I think also for you guys too, of course. Yeah. And it was really, really enriching for me.
That's really cool that we have like a new video poet in town. Probably 5 new video poets in town. Cool. Yeah, so to finalize, Sabrina, you want to say something? Or
Yeah, it was really cool for me, new experience. Also, I had experience with doing video stuff and animation, but like spontaneous stuff and the video haiku poetry stuff. I really like that, and I think I will continue doing something. Also, like the Instagram idea of doing video haikus. I think I will continue with something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes, I cannot leave this this round without saying thank you. It was really special and a great opportunity to learn new things is always good. And I think what could be also really nice is what I thought about now is doing a video haiku live.
Wow.
Mm. Yeah.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it could be something that we could do together also.
Yes, that sounds really, but live like right now. No, not right now. So
not
in this
now.
format.
Yeah. But something that could explore it in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, for these times that we are always live, could be like cool to explore. We can try that out. I want to thank you, Levin, for your texts, for being here, for your readiness and openness to give us your texts. And I talked already with Marco that we want to translate them, so we have an English version of it. And yeah, in the for everyone in the program online, we see another. It's possible to watch like the end versions of the video haikus, and that have also texts written by our participants. And yeah, I think it happened. A lot of things happened during this and afterwards the workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again, Levin. This is my sketchbook, yeah, and all different things are inside, and your version, your haiku is here inside. Okay, so it's in this book now. Yeah, thanks.
Das ist schön, das freut mich. Es war sehr spannend, dass ich eure Werke gesehen habe und was ihr so ein bisschen mit meinen Haikus auch gemacht habt. Das freut mich. Solche Kooperationen sind immer sehr spannend und sehr ergiebig. Also auch danke an euch alle und danke für die Einladung.
Sehr gern. Schön. So I think we are done. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your for your enthusiasm, for your talent. It was a great workshop, and great to have you here and to have new video poets in town. So to everyone, we still have time to watch the films until the 12th of November. Go to our website, share it. Now we have time at home. So do as I did today in the morning. That was raining. I didn't want to go out of bed. Watch a program. It takes 1 hour, and it's a really nice start or finishing way of a really nice way to finish the day. So that's for today. Thank you very much, everyone. And we're gonna be online. And this is going to be to watch, to be online as a live stream somewhere. So you can share it with your friends. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.